So my dev portfolio website sucks.
Boring!
My terminal website was at least interesting, but only you nerds are going to bother to use it. This time though, I'm going to make a website that's interesting and all nerds and goofs alike can use. First, we make a new project with Vite. Name the project 3D port, choose React, JavaScript, change directory, npm install, and npm run dev. Working website just like that, where we can see any changes being made in real time. But we really don't need any of this. Instead, let's get the basic component structure, hero, portfolio, experience, and contact, as well as the navbar and the index.js for centralized exports, and fill those components with just a bit of boilerplate and call them in our app.jsx. Install our dependencies while we're at it, Tailwind, Framer Motion, Three.js, React 3 Dre, get it all configured, set up our hosting and domain name for our portfolio and our pipeline, because what good is a website no one can see? Most of my websites nobody should see. Hostinger is my personal recommendation for this. They are the sponsor of today's video and the web hosting that I use, with the premium plan being a great choice for typical websites. You get a free domain, free email, and unlimited free SSLs and bandwidth. But if you have a resource-intensive website with, I don't know, let's say 3D graphics, like the one we're building today, well, the business plan would be a beneficial upgrade. You get increased performance, NVMe storage instead of SSD storage, and free CDN, which delivers large assets like 3D models quicker. I'll be setting up the hosting with GitHub Actions for auto deployment later in this video. Just know that Hostinger is offering you a special deal when you go to hostinger.com/farsnight and use my code FARST at checkout for your web hosting. Now, one of the things that can make a website fun is modeling. Not that type of modeling, 3D modeling. So let's make some 3D models. And that's when I remembered I'm an idiot. I don't know how to do 3D models. But fortunately, smart people do exist, like Wallmaster here. He has some really cool 3D models on Sketchfab. I'll just take this and wham bam alakazam, your 3D models in my RAM. Now I gotta create our spaceman.jsx file, import a few things, make the spaceman component, include the code that allows us to use our spaceman GLB, and then create a new component, spaceman canvas. We'll set 2 rotations to adjust via the scroll container in case we want to rotate as we scroll. Then we set the scale, the position. Our use effect will handle that scroll and rotate our spaceman if we desire. Handle the resize for responsiveness as the window gets smaller, and return our canvas, returning our spaceman, and for whatever reason having 5 different lights that I'm not sure exactly what each one does. We'll add spaceman canvas to our index.js export file, add our GLB and GLTF asset config to our vite.config.js file, and then we call our spaceman canvas into our hero component, add a little bit of styling, and so those values were wrong, but I fixed it and it's looking a lot better now. But Spaceman needs to float in space, so I've stolen yet another asset and turned this static image into 6 different SVG layers, and I'll throw them into my assets/parallax directory to be used in the hero to make a nice space setting. What is this? I could just use a CSS grid to stack them on top of each other, setting a z-index for each one and matching it up with the correct image. That's easy. Now we'll create a parallax animation using animation parallax linear animation, transforming the Y position to set the multiply by 1 specific parallax speed for each layer. Just gotta add. I don't care. Just gotta add my. I don't care. Just gotta add my name and a little slogan here with a bunch of Tailwind for styling and responsiveness, which makes it look like. That's why I don't care. I don't care. Oh yeah? Well, what about this? Oh yeah, I made this all myself, too. And now it's perfect. Are you kidding me? So the portfolio section actually just needs to be in front of the hero section to cover up the slower scrolling assets, so I'll add a z-index via Tailwind to everything. You know, I don't exactly think this is the right way to do it, but I don't exactly know what I'm doing. For example, when I edited the image, it took me 30 minutes just to figure out how to select the layers. But I did change the top layer to allow for a smoother transition from the hero to the portfolio section, so that way when I set the portfolio background to our primary color that matches the Space Mountain color, it blends in nicely. Luckily for me, programming encourages laziness, and I'm a lazy piece of shit. So instead of writing all of this styling for every single section, I'm just going to create a higher order component, which is a React library feature that allows us to reuse component logic and just throw that into our remaining sections. The data for these sections will be stored stored in this data index.js file. The portfolio.jsx component file actually contains 2 components because I just didn't feel like making 2 files. The project card displays our data using subtle animations and have the cards alternate sides. We'll wrap it all in framer motion animation, style it with Tailwind, and run through each piece of data. In the portfolio component, each project card is called based on the index we just set with the universally styled section title to complete the portfolio section. And is that? Yes. That's right, that's Dev Notes, my newsletter made for software developers. So if you're a software developer, just sign up. It's free. I'm desperate, please sign up. And always make sure in a resume or portfolio you use big numbers to show how important you are, because we all know bigger person, better number. Now we're not done, but before we lose all of our code, let's set up our GitHub repo and connect the auto deploy to Hostinger so we can actually host this thing. It's really a very quick and straightforward process. I'll be replacing my old portfolio on forestspeednight.com, where I go to the Git section, replace the old repo with the new repo, and this is a build branch because we're pushing the build to Hostinger, not the raw code. And we do that with GitHub Actions, setting up a workflow, creating a YAML file that builds our code and pushes it to Hostinger, which shouldn't work yet. We have to add the SSH key to the new repo as a deploy key, grab our webhook link from Hostinger and add webhook to our GitHub repo, and now we have a build branch, a successful workflow run, and a live 3D portfolio website. But we haven't gotten this far in the website build yet. Let's get back to that. And trying to show you all the code is just getting messy. This is all you need to know. The experience card right here are what you see on the left-hand side here. It is in fact selectable. We are running through our data index.js for the experience title, as well as the work experience company name and date. Then the experience details are obviously what you see on the side, whereas the details themselves are in an array, so we map through that array to get each bullet point within each detail. We're basically just doing the same thing as before, but making the card selectable, where we call both of those in our final experience component, and experience card maps through the experience array to display each selectable job. Pretty simple stuff. Why is this so difficult? Oh, in the contact form, oh, I know how to do that. Yeah, I just stole it from my other project, but I did format it to fit this website theme. And dang, look at that. You'd think I actually know what I'm doing. You'd be wrong, but oh crap, the nav bar. This should be pretty simple. Okay, so I guess it wasn't that simple to make it look like this, with the color change, with recognizing each section, with making it selectable, but at least it looks good. And that is how a 3D portfolio with Three.js and React and parallax effects is made. If you want an actual tutorial, I could do that, but you have to let me know. In this video, it has to get like at least 50,000 views? Fine, 50,000 views, and I'll make the tutorial.